Hey, music fans, and welcome back to SoundLab Studios. This may look a little bit different, but that's because I'm using a new streaming software. StreamYard wanted to charge me $50 a month and for the paid plan, and now since I'm getting back into doing more videos, I said no. And so I found this. This is Restream, and honestly, it's a lot like StreamYard. A lot of the stuff looks very similar, and it's a lot cheaper too. So decided to use that. Here we go with, as you've probably seen on the video title, the next episode in my 100 favorite albums. This is, oh boy, what numbers are we on? Number 70 to number 61. Number 70, number 61. So it'll be fun, really cool. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. One of the things I want to show first is right here. Look at that. Look at that. You can subscribe to SoundLab Studios. All you have to do is just click that little, or not click, scan the QR code below. It'll take you straight to my channel so you can check it out. Yep. I'll leave it up for just a few more seconds. And if anybody scans it, your name will pop up there. Well, your name won't pop up there, but I'll just say somebody scanned the code. So, okay. Without further ado, we're going to get into my top 100 favorite albums, number 70 to number 61. We're going to start out with number 70, which is Fragile by Yes. Fragile by Yes. So this is a really cool album. Really enjoy this album. What I like about it is just the amazing musicianship on there. There's a gatefold with the lyrics in here. Tony Kaye was a great keyboard player, but getting Rick Wakeman really helped elevate the band. This is kind of their breakout album. Rick Wakeman had done some work with David Bowie earlier on Hunky Dory, and then they ended up on this album here. 5 of the songs on this album are kind of solo projects from the band members, and then the rest are group projects, which makes for a really interesting concept to this record. First song on here is Roundabout. Classic song. I love the little nylon guitar thing at the beginning, and Chris Squire's bass playing is fantastic. Cans and Brahms is kind of this classical thing that was arranged by Rick Wakeman, and that's his kind of solo thing on here. We have Heaven as John Anderson's solo thing on here, where he kind of layers his vocals over each other a lot. And then we got South Side of the Sky, which is a really epic song. Bass tone on that is huge. Really cool solos from Steve Howe as well. 5% for Nothing is this really weird kind of instrumental, which is Bill Bruford's solo thing. He's just playing the drums really crazy, and we got Chris Squire doing some weird bass thing underneath. Long Distance Runaround is one of their more famous songs on this album. Really like that one as well. It's another band project. You get The Fish, which is Chris Squire's solo thing, which is kind of him doing a lot of making different sounds with his bass guitar and making a song out of it. All kinds of different sounds that he's using there. And Mood for a Day is Steve Howe's solo thing. It's an acoustic guitar solo piece, which is really cool. And ends with Heart of the Sunrise, which has one of the coolest bass intros. Really crazy. Love that way. Great way to close the album. Great musicianship on this album. Number 70, Fragile by Yes. And now we're going to get to number 69, which is... See if it'll switch over. There we go. Born to Run by Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band. Yeah, we'd already had Born in the USA, but this is my favorite Springsteen album. There we go. We got Clarence on the back, the big man. Much like Fragile was Yes's breakout album, this is Springsteen's breakout album. Kind of skyrocketed his career. It's got kind of a Phil Spector-ish Wall of Sound production to it. I've heard this album described as if Phil Spector was producing for Bob Dylan, and I would definitely agree, because very Dylan-esque lyrics on this album. Cool sound to it as well. Start out with Thunder Road, which has this really cool piano intro. and it's got this harmonica, and then it just kind of gets faster and faster as it goes. Man, great way to open the album. 10th Avenue Freeze Out is kind of the story of how the E Street Band formed. It has a really cool saxophone solo from Clarence Clemons on there. Night, another amazing song, cool drums on that one. Backstreets is also great. And Born to Run, man, I love the song Born to Run as well. So much so that I used it as my intro music for a long time. I love the part that goes bow 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 bow. 1, 2, 3, 4. Really good. Great musicianship, great playing, very catchy. Bruce. A lot of people say Bruce needs singing lessons, but I think the raw vocal style really just adds to his. Just kind of adds to the album. Just a second. Trying to figure out how this new streaming site works. She's the One, Meeting Across the River, also very good, but I think Jungle Land is really where this album becomes amazing. It's the closing track. So cool. Starts off with like some strings. And then it just kind of goes into this really, oh my gosh, I can't even describe it. It's like it starts off slow, and then it gets like it goes through all these different sections, has really cool piano in the middle, and the saxophone solo from Clarence Clemons on Jungle Land will just make the hairs on the back of your neck just stand up. It is so good. Amazing way to end this fantastic album. Just great vibe on this record. Now we're going to get to number 68, which is Green River by Creedence Clearwater Revival. This is the first appearance of CCR here on the channel. And wow, what an amazing album here. We start out with Green River, which is a great song. Commotion. Yeah, just kind of the country rock, swamp rock vibe of this is fantastic. Tombstone Shadow, great guitar playing on that one. Wrote a Song for Everyone is a very underrated song. I really like that one. Of course, Bad Moon Rising, the big hit on this one. Lodi, another great song. Sinister Purpose has this kind of eerie feel to it. And then I'm not as big on their cover of The Nighttime is the Right Time, but the rest of the album is just great. Just great little country rock album there from CCR. Number 67, about some psychedelic rock. Odyssey and Oracle by the Zombies. Yeah, so I had heard of this album before because it's kind of popular in the vinyl community, but this album wasn't really well received when it came out, which is such a shame because this album is fantastic. Like it's almost a continuation of Magical Mystery Tour, but by a different band. The Zombies is a very underrated band, even though they don't have very many albums. But Colin Blunstone is an amazing singer. Rod Argent is one of the great keyboard players in rock. It starts off with Care of Cell 44, which is a song about like a loved one who is coming back from jail, which is a really interesting lyrics. This album, if you like the Mellotron, that's all over this album. The Mellotron, one of my favorite instruments, all over this album. I think it's the same one that was used on Strawberry Fields Forever as well. And then A Rose for Emily is a very Baroque sounding song that's pretty much just vocals and piano. Maybe After He's Gone, psychedelic pop song, really good. Beechwood Park, more of the same. Brief Candles, my gosh, another amazing song. Hung Up on a Dream, such a psychedelic song, and I love that one. I Want Her, She Wants Me. When I made my review of this album, I said I didn't like it as much. Totally wrong. Another amazing song. I like all the songs on here. This Will Be Our Year. Another amazing song. I like that one as well. The Butcher's Tale. Man, such a graphic way of exploiting the horrors of war. Friends of Mine. That one's fun as well. And then, of course, you got The Time of the Season, which is a fantastic song. Yeah, great album. Love it so much. Okay. Number 66. We got some more Stones. Aftermath. This is kind of the first album where the Rolling Stones start writing all of their own songs. Out of Our Heads is kind of when they started writing more of their stuff, but by this point, all of the bluesy covers had gone. Out of Our Heads is another great album, but it didn't quite make my list. This one, though, this is where the Stones get really good. Of course, this album does differ depending on where you live. The US and the UK track listings are different. I have the US version here, which is the one I'm talking about because it's the one that I listen to. But the UK one is also very good, but I'm going with this one here because that's what I got. Paint It Black. Oh my gosh. It's kind of the first major use of sitar on a rock record, and wow, does it really just kick the record off so well. I love Charlie Watts' frantic drumming on this song. And it's kind of got this cool modal thing in it. It's just a fantastic song. Stupid Girl is a fun song. Lady Jane, this cool Baroque thing that features Brian Jones playing like a dulcimer, which is cool. Under My Thumb, another fantastic song. I love the marimbas. Dun, 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 dun. And it's got some of Bill Wyman's best bass playing on it as well. Don't You Bother Me kind of harkens back to their blues sound. Think, that's another great song. Flight 505, that's one of the most underrated songs on the album. It's got some good piano from Mr. Ian Stewart there. High and Dry, It's Not Easy, I'm Waiting. And then Going Home is like the first major rock song to pass the 11-minute mark. It's pretty much just a blues jam, but like going into uncharted territory here with how long this song is. And it's a great way to close the album. There are Stones records that I like better than this. This used to be my favorite Stones album, but there's a few that have passed it since. So expect to see the Stones back again later on. Aftermath, number 66. Check it out. Okay, number 65. A band that you're going to see a lot more on this list, but this is the first appearance of them. It's Let It Be by the Beatles. Yeah, so it took a while to get to the Beatles in this series, but it's because all their albums rank kind of higher up. 65 is the lowest one they're going to get, and still, my gosh, another fantastic record. Let me open up the... So this was conceived as a soundtrack to... they were going to do a... They were going to do a TV special, and do a live show. But then, kind of in the making of writing the songs for their live show, George Harrison quits the band, and all this drama is going on. And they decide, you know what? We're just instead, why don't we just do a live show? And where are we going to do the live show? Let's just do it on the roof of our building. And so this kind of a good snapshot of the last years of the band. This is right before they would break up. The last album they released, even though it was recorded before Abbey Road, they kind of shelved it and released it afterwards whenever they decided to make a movie out of it. So it doubles as the soundtrack to the movie Let It Be, which you can actually watch on Disney Plus now. Really cool. For a long time, you couldn't watch that movie. Man, I was so happy when they released the movie because I'd really wanted to see it. I mean, I saw Get Back, but I wanted to see like the original movie. And wow, even though it's kind of got a darker feel to it, like go watch the movie because you get to see the Beatles in the studio working, just kind of working their magic in the studio. Of course, this was infamously produced by Phil Spector. We added a lot of choir and strings and orchestra stuff on top of it, which I like. I like that. A lot of people seem to hate that, but I actually really like that about this album. You start off with Two of Us, which is a really cool kind of acoustic song. You got some great Lennon-McCartney harmonies. I Dig a Pony is taken from the Rooftop Concert. That one's fun. Some shots fired at the Rolling Stones, too, on that song. Across the Universe. That is a fantastic song. I love the lyrics. Very good lyrics from John Lennon there. I Me Mine, the last George Harrison song. I like the waltz feel of it. Dig It is kind of dumb, but that's what this album kind of is. Dig It kind of helps to add to the vibe of this particular album because there's a lot of studio chatter on here that makes it feel like you're in the studio with the band. Of course, Let It Be, one of the classic McCartney tracks. Love that song to death. Maggie May, that's more just kind of the studio chatter. I've Got a Feeling, that one's fun. One After 909, one of their early songs that they brought back. Long and Winding Road, fantastic. Love the orchestrations on that one. For You Blue, another really good George Harrison song. And then Get Back, JoJo. I'd like to say thank you on behalf of the band and myself, and I hope we pass the audition. Yeah, great album. I forgot to say all my favorite songs, so I'm going to have to go back and do that. I keep doing that. Roundabout is my favorite on that one. Born to Run is my favorite on that one. Jungle Land, very close second. Bad Moon Rising is my favorite on this one. Carousel 44 is my favorite on this one. And, Basic but Painted Black is my favorite on this one. And my favorite on this one is either Let It Be or Long and Winding Road. Big toss-up. I love both of those songs. I'll say Let It Be for now. But Long and Winding Road could be my favorite on a different day. All right, number 64. We got some Genesis. This is one of their earlier albums, Nursery Crime. Peter Gabriel album. I have to open the gatefold to get the track listing. This is not on the back. Very, very different Genesis than the 80s Genesis that a lot of people are familiar with. This is more progressive rock. The musical box, wow, really cool way to open the album. Steve Hackett guitar. This is when Steve Hackett and Phil Collins joined the band, and you can really tell that they were much needed ingredients to this band. The musical box is a 10-minute song with all these changes in it and all this great musicianship. Steve Hackett has lots of really cool layers of guitar. And then, why are they all out of order? They're all out of order. I'm going to have to look at the record. I hate it when they put it in the wrong order. For Absent Friends, that's the first song where Phil Collins actually gets to sing. You can tell he's kind of a newer singer, but it's pretty good. Probably one of my least favorite songs on the album. He gets a lot better, though, whenever we get to Selling England by the Pound. And then The Return of the Giant Hogweed is just this crazy British humor kind of song about, like, plants taking over the world. But I love the intro where Tony Banks and Steve Hackett are doing this kind of thing. And then Phil Collins comes in on the drums, like, and, like, just does this crazy, like, drum solo almost. Just a crazy song, but it's really cool. Seven Stones has this cool Mellotron bit in the middle. Harold the Barrel is more British humor. Seems like Genesis always have at least one song on their album that's kind of a stupid joke song, but it's loads of fun. I like Harold the Barrel, even though it's stupid, it's fun. Harlequin, I don't like that one as much, but it's still cool. And then Fountain of Salmacis is kind of like this, based on this Greek myth. Super cool song. Great way to close the album. I love the Mellotron on that one as well. And Phil Collins is drumming. Oh my gosh. My favorite song on this is probably Return of the Giant Hogweed. Nursery Crime by Genesis, 64. Number 63. And this is probably one of the... in fact, I think this is the newest album on this list, but it's still just the 90s. We have Oasis with What's the Story, Morning Glory. Yeah, this... I usually like older music. This is still older music. But my friend Jason the Old Millennial introduced me to this album, and wow, oh my gosh, it's so good. Maybe I like it that's because people compare them to the Beatles. They're actually got an upcoming tour. They, for years, have been feuding, the brothers, and didn't tour, but they're about to have an upcoming tour. Hello is such a cool way to open the album. Roll With It, I like that song as well. Of course, Wonderwall, everyone knows that song. Love the strings on that, and apparently there's a Mellotron on Wonderwall as well. I said maybe you're gonna be the one that saves me. It's super catchy. Don't Look Back in Anger, another amazing song, kind of based on the chords of Imagine by John Lennon. I like the guitar solo on that one. Hey Now, it's another good song. Some might say is my favorite song on this album. I liked it so much that I used it as my intro music, just like I used Born to Run. I used Some Might Say for a little while. fantastic song. I love the guitars on that one. Cast No Shadow, it's kind of a moody song. She's Electric is loads of fun. I love the bounciness, and I love the A Little Help from My Friends background vocals that they use at the end. They steal that from A Little Help from My Friends, but it works so well at the end of that song. Morning Glory is like this. I don't even know how to describe it. It's like you like these helicopters, and it's very frantic, and it's like it's a very energetic song, and then it closes with Champagne Supernova, which, oh my gosh, great way to close this record. It starts off as kind of like a simple ballad, but then by the end it just goes off the walls. Great album, my favorite album of the 90s. Only album from the 90s that made it to this list. Number 62, we got some Electric Light Orchestra. Face the Music. First appearance of Electric Light Orchestra on this list. But this album right here, if you're going to get into Electric Light Orchestra, this is a great first album to listen to get into them. I've got all these career-starting albums on here. Born to Run was the career-starting album of Springsteen. Fragile was the career-starting album of Yes. This album kind of kick-started the career of Electric Light Orchestra. Of course, what I love about Electric Light Orchestra is that they mix rock music with classical orchestra music, which is amazing. Fire on High, the album opener to this album, will scare you so bad, but in the best way. It's so freaky at the beginning because it's like a lot of these sound effects and this ominous orchestra, and then they like do the Hallelujah chorus, and then like they have like some backwards speaking, which it's a funny joke because there's a lot of people who said that people were hiding messages in their music backwards. And so if you play the song backwards, it says the music is reversible, but time is not. Turn back. So it was just kind of a way to troll people who were talking about backwards music or messages in music. And then once you get past the freaky part, then you just get to like this epic, triumphant, like and it goes from freaky to epic. It's just like this really cool way to open it. A really cool instrumental. Triumphant instrumental, great drumming too. It's like it's like almost like an overture to the album. And Waterfall is a great ballad. I love Waterfall. Evil Woman, classic song. Doo. Evil Woman. That's a great song. Knight Rider. I love Knight Rider. Knight Rider actually. Evil Woman actually samples part of Knight Rider, which is funny. The next song after it, there's like this string thing that goes up, and in Evil Woman they play it backwards, which is really cool. But Knight Rider is a really underrated song, kind of almost disco-y sounding. Poker, great way to start the second side. Really cool guitar playing, great synthesizer playing on here. Strange Magic, that's another one of the singles from here. Cool guitar playing. That was played by the keyboard player, oddly enough. Down Hometown is a country song. I don't think country works very well for ELO, but it's there. And One Summer Dream, cool way to end the album. My favorite on this album, yeah, it's Evil Woman, but great album there. And the last album that I'm going to be talking about today is Steely Dan with their album Can't Buy a Thrill. So this is the debut album for Steely Dan, and it's a little bit of a different sounding album in their catalog. It's not as jazzy as their later stuff. It's more pop sounding, but like you can still hear the complicated musicality that they're known for later on. It's mainly just the band is mainly just two dudes, but at this point they were an actual band and even had several different lead singers other than just Donald Fagen. Do It Again, kind of got this Latin feel to it. Really cool. Dirty Work, another great song sung by David Palmer, their secondary vocalist. Midnight Cruiser is sung by their drummer. That's another really good song. Only a Fool Would Say That is this cha-cha sounding song that's a response to John Lennon's Imagine. And then Reeling in the Years is the big song from this album. Great guitar playing from, what's his name? Oh, it says right here, Elliot Randall. really great guitar playing from him. He was a studio guitar player. Brooklyn is the other song sung by Palmer on here. Change of the Guard, Turn That Heartbeat Over Again. Yeah, I just love the vibe of this album. It's a vibe, Steely Dan. So yeah, that's all of the albums that we're going to have for this video today. But thank you for watching. We will see you again next time. Remember that music is art and art is expression. And one more time before we go, if you would just click this QR code over here if you want to check out more videos from SoundLab Studios. Thank you very much.